Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this really adorable bikini top. Oops, sorry, it's backwards. So this is the top. I made it on TikTok and the video got a lot of requests for a tutorial, so here I am. This is what it looks like. It is essentially like a triangle granny square, and then it ends up with this kind of flower design. But yeah, it's so perfect for summer, spring. This is what I'm gonna be showing you how to make today. It has the tie in the back and the tie for around the neck. But yeah, this is just such a beautiful colorway. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna be showing you how to make. Let's get right on into this. All right, here is what the bikini top looks like from the front view. This is just literally two triangles sewn together. But yeah, this is the back. So you can see the tie in the back and then the tie for around the neck. But yeah, this is literally, it's so cute and it's pretty easy of a pattern. So let's get into what we're gonna be needing. As you can see, on this top, I used 3 different colors. However, you don't need to use 3 different colors. You can use more or less depending on what you want. I used 3 and I'm gonna be using 3 colors in today's tutorial. So the yarn that I'm using for this is the Big Twist acrylic yarn. This is the color Varsity Gold. This is a medium weight yarn. So I'm using this one, and then I'm using this orange color that's also Big Twist. I'm not exactly sure what the color is called though. I got rid of the tag. And then the last color I'll be using is this color from Loops and Threads. This is just the light blue. All 3 of these are acrylic medium weight yarns. Then I do use a pair of scissors as well as a needle to go ahead and sew in your ends towards the end. And then I also use a 4mm crochet hook. However, depending on what you want and what your preferences are, you can use a smaller or larger hook. However, I would recommend going for the smallest a 3.5mm hook and the largest probably around a 6. All right, so that is everything you'll be needing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you how I made the first triangle for the top. This is what my triangle ended up looking like at the end. So this is the one we're gonna be referencing out when I'm showing you how to make it. So as you can see, we start from the middle and go out. So in the middle, I started off with a magic ring using the orange yarn, and that's where we are going to start. So grab the color that you want to begin with first. For me, that is the orange. And it starts in a magic loop, so you're going to start by making your magic loop. From here, I chain 2. And now I'm going to do a double crochet into the middle. Just like that. That chain of 2 we started off with also counts as a double crochet. So this is 2 double crochets. From here, I'm going to chain 1 and then do another 2 double crochets into the center. And as you can see, that made a little gap in between the 2 double crochets, the 2 double crochet bits we just made. And that will end up being 6 gaps in this triangle. So we're going to repeat that again, a chain 1 and then a double crochet, 2 double crochets. Chain 1, 2 double crochets. And then you're going to keep going until you have 5 little gaps. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 2 double crochets. 2 double crochets, and count your gaps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 gaps. I'm going to go ahead, chain 1 more. I'm going to close up my circle, pull it tight, and I'm going to slip stitch into that first chain we made in the circle, and then that will be our last gap. So if you go ahead and count your gaps, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to chain 1 and cut my yarn because we don't need orange for a little bit now. So we're switching to yellow. So I'm going to pull through my orange. So with yellow, I'm going to go into the gap with my hook, grab the yellow, I'm going to pull up the yellow, and I'm going to make a chain of 2. So in each of these gaps, I'm going to make 5 double crochets. So this chain of 2 counts as the first double crochet for this gap. So I'm going to put 4 more double crochets into the gap. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, I'm kind of going over some of the ends of my yarn. And you can do that too. That's a good way of just covering up the ends of your work as you go. It saves a little bit of time when it comes to sewing later. So now you're going to chain 1 and then go into the next gap and do 5 double crochets into each gap. 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, go into the next gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, next gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, next gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1, one more gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1 and now slip stitch to where we began with the yellow yarn. Okay, from here, I'm going to go ahead and chain 3, still with yellow. And essentially on this, it's 2 rows of yellow. So this was our first row. You can't exactly see it, but the second row, you're going to be doing 6 double crochets into the middle of the 5 you just made. So for instance, if we're right here, you can see there's 5 double crochets. I'm going to go into the middle, like right here in the middle, and make 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like that. That's in the middle of the 5. Now I'm going to go over to the next 5, no chain, and make 6 double crochets into the middle of the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see it's just kind of like doing 6 on top of the 5, but I'm not necessarily going into a specific stitch on top. I'm literally just going into the middle where I see fit best. So no chain again, and then do 6 at the next gap, or to the next, it's not necessarily a gap, it's the next 5. So go in the middle of the next 5 and then do 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, next 5, in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, next gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then this is the last one. 6 double crochets into the middle of the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oops. Okay, from here I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into this chain we started with. Chain 1, and I'm going to cut the yellow because we're no longer going to use the yellow. Pull through. This is what it's looking like. From here, we're going to do the next row back in orange. So attach your orange. I like to attach it in one of these corners where there's a gap. Chain 1. So when you see these gaps in the corners, that is when we are going to do a double crochet, except you're not exactly doing a double crochet. So you're going to yarn over your loop, go into the orange part at the bottom, pull your yarn from the back, pull back up, and then go over through like a half double crochet, and then once more like a double crochet. And that's what's going to make it look like the kind of petals. Okay, so now you're going to single crochet into each of these until we get to the next gap, and I'll show you again. So just one single crochet until you get to the next little gap in the corner, and do a double crochet through the orange. So make sure you're holding your work loose enough so that you're not like pulling it super tight, but like let there be, you know, some room. And then pull over like you're doing a half double crochet, and then pull over again for the double crochet. And then again, single crochet to the next gap. The next double crochet into the middle where we began. Single crochet, next gap, go make that double crochet. So I just repeat that all the way around until I get back to the beginning. So I'm going to continue, and I'll meet you back when I get to where I started. Okay, I am back at the beginning. I'm going to do one more single crochet, and now I'm going to go into the top of this double crochet, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and cut my orange yarn because we're switching to blue now. Okay, so we're done with the center flower, and now I'm going to switch my color to blue. For the blue part, you can kind of join wherever you want for this, which is great. I'm just gonna go into like the middle of one of the petals, the blue, pull my yarn up, I like to chain 1. From here, I'm going to make single crochet. So this kind of works, let me explain this. So this kind of works where you single crochet, and then once you get to where you want to put a corner for your triangle, you do a half double crochet, a double crochet, and then where this line meets in the middle of between the 2 petals, you do 2 treble crochets, a chain 1, 2 treble crochets, and then you go back to making one side of the triangle, and then the process repeats. So that's why I started in the middle of one of these petals. So from here, I'm going to do 1 more single crochet. I'm just going over my ends. That's why you see that. And now, because we're getting close to this little line right here, I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch. And now a double crochet in the next stitch. And now I 2 treble crochets into this next stitch. So that's 1. And this is 2. I'm going to chain 1. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to do another 2 treble crochets. So 1 treble crochet. And 1 more treble crochet. And now I'm going to do a double crochet in the next stitch. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet. And now I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to single crochet. And I'm going to make single crochets all the way until I get to the middle of this next petal. Okay, so I'm in the middle of the next petal, and now I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 treble crochets in this next stitch. 1, 2. I'm going to chain 1, and the next stitch I'm going to do 2 treble crochets. 1, 2. Now a double crochet in this next stitch, and a half double crochet in this next stitch. And now I'm going to half double crochet, or now I'm going to, single crochet until I get to the middle of this next petal over here. So single crochet till you get to the next middle of the petal. So I'm in the middle of the next petal over, and now I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch, a double crochet in the next stitch, 2 triple crochets in this next stitch, 1, 2, chain 1, and then 2 treble crochets in this next stitch, 1, 2. Now a double crochet in the next stitch, a half double crochet in the next stitch, and now I'm going to single crochet all the way back to where we started in the blue. Single crochet to where we started. So I got to where I started, and now I'm going to slip stitch into this first stitch, just like that. So that is what made our shape, the triangle. From here, I'm just going to do 1 more row to increase this triangle to look like this, with just 1 more round of blue, and then your cup is done. So to do the last row, I like to chain 2. And now I'm just going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch, but when you get to where we put the chain in each corner, I like to put 4 treble crochets, and that's the only difference. So I'll show you one corner, and then you guys can do the rest on your own. So I'm gonna double crochet till I get to the corner. 1 double crochet in each stitch until you get to the corner. I made it to the corner, and now I'm going to do 4 treble crochets into this gap. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you're going to double crochet into each until you get to the next. So it's just that, and it repeats all the way until you get back to the beginning. So I'll go ahead and meet you guys at the end of this row. Okay, I'm approaching the end of my row. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch we made of the row, chain 1, and I can go ahead and cut my work. Pull through. So that's how you make one of the triangles. I'm just going to go ahead and weave in my ends. If you need to make one more cup, which you probably will, go ahead, and if you need to rewatch that last few minutes of the video to make the cup, go ahead and do so. I already have my second one made, so I'm going to continue. So I'm just going to go ahead and weave in my ends real quick though. And for this, I really just go in where I think my yarn won't be peeking through later on. Pretty simple. And then if you did kind of what I did, I went over a lot of my ends as I was crocheting. So I just am going to go ahead and snip them. But yeah, you should have 2 triangles now. So for the rest of the detailing and stuff, I'm just going to use my blue yarn. So to connect them in the middle, I just take a long piece of blue yarn and I'm going to take my needle and I literally just go through the front, through the 2 stitches in the front. And I tie them together with a double knot, like that. And now I just go through with my needle over a few stitches, a few times. It's literally that simple. I go through a few more times, just going over it. And now I'm going to go and tuck my ends in. So again, I just go through where I think my yarn won't show. And I'm going to cut my yarn. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm just going to go through and tuck the end in on this side, but I'm going to do it on this side now. So now I have the 2 triangles connected in the front. What I do for my necktie and back tie is I literally just make a chain that I start in the top of the corners. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And then I chain as much as I think I need for each one. So I'm going to show you how to do the top real quick. So I'm just going to grab my blue yarn and my hook, go through the top right in the middle, with my hook. I pull up my blue yarn and I literally just chain until I think I have enough chains to be able to tie. So I'm probably going to make about 30 to 40 chains because I don't think I need too much. It's not going to be too long. Okay. Once I think I have enough chains, I go ahead and cut my yarn and I just pull through. I pull it super tight and then I'm just gonna cut the end. And then just to double secure this at the top of the triangle right here, I make a knot with my excess yarn. And then I take my needle and I tuck this piece into the top itself and weave it in. And cut the end. So that's literally it for the ties. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. And I just, to match up the length, I just chain as long as until it matches up on this side. So I'll be back when I have that done. Okay. So I just matched up the ends and they are pretty much the same length. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing for the back tie and just kind of make it as long as you think that you're gonna need. For the back ties though, I would say probably closer to 50 chains on each side, just in case you do need a little extra room. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my my back tie and I will be right back. All right, well I finished the top. I'm gonna go ahead and just tie the ends, or tie the back into a little bow. Okay, well this is my final bikini. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I just love how this turned out. It's just so cute. And I think it's just so perfect for summer and spring. So that is it for today's tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys want to see in future videos. We'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!